Jo Frost is back, answering an SOS from parents desperate for her help with their challenging children.
You will not tolerate being treated like that. Like, get up there and take charge.
As well as working in family homes, Jo's out and about, meeting mums and dads to hear about their everyday problems. And she's on the lookout for some familiar faces.
You know, the great thing about the roadshow is that it gives me a wonderful opportunity to invite the families that I helped last year down here. So fingers crossed they all turn up, because it would be so good to see them.
More than a year on, some of Jo's old friends are dropping by to share all their news. Coming up, Jo's revisiting the young gaming addict who was spending up to 80 hours a week on his computer.
When the newspaper said it's more addictive than crack cocaine, it looks like it could be right.
Catching up with the 6-year-old who'd never spent a night in her own bed.
I want to sleep in your room tonight.
£450?
And checking in with the pint-sized diva to see if she's bankrupted her mum.
What, no money?
I know.
Your money's in the wardrobe.
I know. Madison.
The Wren family from Glasgow are a cautionary tale of what happens when you overindulge your kids. Madison is a child who wants for nothing.
This is my Christian Dior dress. I think it was quite expensive. I've also got a Just Couture top.
Her mum, Moya, has spent thousands trying to keep her happy.
Anything I have, I just spend on my kids and the way they look and the way they dress and what they want. I've got dresses that I bought from Harrods. She recently got a custom-made outfit that cost about £450.
But designer clothes are only a small part of this 9-year-old's expensive lifestyle.
The pageants cost a lot of money. And this weekend, I'll probably out about £500. Want your teeth white and stuff on? The weekend after, I've got London, and I've got Dallas the week after, so all in all this month, I'm probably going to be out about £5,000.
And all this doesn't come easy on a beautician's wage.
I'm in debt, thousands and thousands. So I'm having to sell my house to pay it off.
But Moya is paying an even greater price for spoiling Madison.
Mummy, do it, Mummy, do it. Madison, come here and see. She's just a little diva. And her moods affects the whole house.
I'm having the medal final.
It's stubbornness, it's cheekiness, it's arrogance.
Your granddad, whatever his name is.
Grandad, right?
Yeah, Grandad, right, gave me like £30 or something on a cheque and you took it.
Yeah, I took it and put it in my bank.
It's my money.
So I paid for all the stuff.
It's my money.
Hiya.
Hiya.
Hi, Jo. Pleased to meet you.
Pleased to meet you, Moya. Hi, hi, pleased to meet you. Hiya.
And there's Wild Child.
Nice to meet you. How are you? Good. Is this one the one who gives you trouble, is it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, where are these girls going to go? Because I'd love a chat with you.
Yeah, they can go. Where you going? Garden, upstairs.
Skedaddle.
Bye.
Bye.
I want to know what you do for her.
Bath her, wash her hair. Sometimes I'll clean her teeth, dress her, clear up after her.
So, she doesn't do anything then? Mm-hmm. What kind of discipline have you given her that you followed through on at all?
Nothing. I've never followed anything through. I've always give up.
Oh, OK. Well, that's really starting off something. Look at that model with attitude. You're really going to, like, do the self-prophecy there, aren't you? How much does this cost?
250 quid.
£250? God, that's more than my whole outfit.
200.
£200 for that?
That was in the sale as well.
You could get you could get more than
2
that.
weeks shopping.
A 2 week shopping?
That was the whole tracksuit. It was 200.
200? You've got no money.
I know.
Your money's in the wardrobe.
I know.
This to me is madness.
I know.
It's madness when you're in debt because you haven't got your priorities straight.
No, I haven't.
That's 2.5, 3. Got over 3.5 grand here.
I know. And that's not counting what's in her ironing and downstairs in the washing.
Why does she have to wear stuff that's got labels on it?
Both the kids are like that.
Why?
Probably because of me, because I've always dressed them like that.
To be honest with you, kids don't really care unless it's rubbed off from the parents.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't know no difference.
No.
They certainly don't have no value for money.
Yeah.
They don't know how hard you have to work to be able to afford one of these T-shirts or one of these dresses.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand the value of that. You put a price on your love.
And I don't really.
Do you understand that when I say that? You put a price on your love.
Yeah, and
if you love them, then they know that they're going to get a T-shirt or they're going to get a dress. Your kids are spoiled because you made them spoiled.
Yeah.
Because you ruined it.
Yeah.
Because you bought them stuff that you know is not necessary.
Yeah, they don't really need it.
You know, you've created Frankenstein yourself. Do you understand what I mean when I say that?
Yeah, Just made a total arse of my life over the years. I could be actually sitting all right. I've just got my priorities wrong for far too long. And probably deep down I've known this all along and I've just not known a way how to stop it.
Jo knows that if Mum Moya is going to get her daughter's behaviour in check, then she needs to put some parenting basics in place first.
You're going to need to establish rules. What do these girls need to be doing every day?
Helping me.
Yeah, so they've got chores.
That also means disciplining the kids when rules are broken.
Madison's consequences would be no Hannah Montana, no playing out, no DS.
If you don't put your foot down, you're going to allow these kids to treat you the way they want to. And then you know what? You're sitting there wearing the thorns and the crown yourself, and you've only yourself to blame. So if you want the respect, then you've got to give it to yourself first, otherwise you're never going to get it.
Right. Do you know how for years and years and years and years I've just picked up after you and tried... Excuse me? No, hold on a minute. I've not finished speaking, OK? See, when I tell you to speak, that's when you speak to me. You speak again, I'll send you to your room. Right? So one of the first rules is when I'm asking you to do something or I'm talking to you, there'll be no cheek or back chat. There'll be none of this. The next one is you'll have chores to do and you must do them every single day because nothing comes free in life. You have to work for everything. Your chores will be tidying your room, making your bed. So if you don't do any of that, there'll be consequences.
Why have you gone into a sulk? Yeah, you have.
That's
I
Madison
can
all
see
the
by
time.
I see by your face. I hope that attitude's going to change. So I'm leaving you with this.
OK.
Okay, to follow through on. Girls, lovely meeting you. Do I get a hug or not? No? You don't really want to give a hug,
If
do you?
you want.
Lovely to meet you. Okay. Come here if you want to give me a hug. Oh, that's a begrudging hug, isn't it? But you know what? The change will be good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Stick with it. Don't let yourself down. Be strong enough to do it. I don't know whether this woman is going to be able to follow through with the rules. I really don't know. I hope for her sake and I hope for those kids' sakes that she starts to follow through with rules. I hope she finds this as her beginning to put that equilibrium back into her house. Who knows? You know, who knows?
Working mum Jo Simmons lives in Woolwich with her daughters, 6-year-old Paige and 4-year-old Poppy. Most kids grow out of sleeping in their parents' bed by the age of 3, but this mum still has to make room for her elder daughter every night.
Paige has never ever spent a whole night in her own bed, never.
Go to bed, Paige.
It would be literally, I'd go in there with her, and she'd fall asleep. I'd leave the bedroom, within 10 minutes she'd be awake.
Every night when Paige wakes up on her own, she has to find mum.
Even if I'd send her back 5 times a night, she'd be coming back in my room, which would end up none of us would get any sleep. Paige just doesn't want to be without an adult.
Mum hasn't had a full night's sleep in 6 years. She's desperate for this to change.
Broken sleep is just the worst, I think, and I've never had like 4 hours sleep without being woken up. I'm always tired. I try not to get angry, but yeah, I do feel stressed inside and I've always got mouth ulcers because I'm so stressed.
Go to bed, Paige.
I would like Jo to come because I've tried every other avenue. It's a nightmare, really. Nothing I've tried has worked so far.
Hi, Jo. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
How you doing?
All right, thank you.
With no one else able to help, Jo Frost is mum's last resort.
She's never slept in her own room, but now it's to the point where she won't even go in her room, she won't even start in her room. She just wants to come straight into my room. And she knows that in the end, for an easy life, I'm going to give in.
So if I said passive, assertive or aggressive, which box would you put yourself in?
Probably passive.
Yeah, OK. And if we were now going to put her into that box, which one would it be?
Aggressive.
OK, so I better be the assertive one, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're well
We're in
doomed.
trouble, yeah.
We're well doomed. You know, I think Mum knows really that she's not been strong enough, and it's created this bad habit that's kicked into place for too long now. And Mum's looking for some moral support.
It's 7 o'clock. The countdown till bedtime begins. Paige has guessed tonight's routine is going to be altogether different, so the power game with Mum starts early.
Yeah, I said you've got 5 more minutes of playing out and then you need to come in. Stop it. Calm down, Paige.
You've got 5 minutes like Poppy.
Yeah, you've got 5 minutes like Poppy. Yeah, you've got 5 minutes like Poppy.
She's going to hit you level 8 tonight. Like, you're going to know it like you've never known it before.
I want to sleep in your room tonight.
Paige, you're not sleeping in my room. You're not sleeping.
But with bedtime fast approaching, the night promises to be a long one.
We're going to do some colouring, OK?
Around the country, Jo's been confronted with an infinite variety of parenting problems. But one she's coming up against more and more is the effect of modern technology on our children's daily lives. 10-year-old Bailey is hooked on a computer game called World of Warcraft, an online fantasy game with realistic and complex graphics where millions of players battle enemies for weapons and rewards. Bailey can spend up to an incredible 80 hours a week glued to the screen.
I do ask him to do things with us, but he'd rather just be on the computer.
Single mum of 3, Louise, is terrified that she's lost her son for good.
When I try and bring him off the computer, he doesn't want to come off, which causes big arguments between everybody. On a Sunday, he's the same again, 9 o'clock in the morning till late at night, with no breaks, won't come off unless we have the fights again.
Only time I've killed a level higher than me.
I let him play on the computer because I don't know what else to do. He'll have his breakfast, his lunch and his tea sat at the computer. It sounds crazy, but it is taking over his life. Hence, when the newspaper said it's more addictive than crack cocaine, it looks like it could be right. His schoolwork's starting to suffer. They're going to put him on a self-motivation course. They know he can do the work, but he won't do the work. It's just basically taking over Bailey's life. I've lost my son.
There you go. Oh, my God. Shh, shh. Hello. You okay? How are you? Come in. Come in. Hi, Bailey. How are you, love? You all right? Yeah? Let's go forward out here. I'll just see the garden.
Yeah?
Just days ago, something quite shocking happened in the Ward family, and Louise is keen to offload on Jo.
So we went into a cafe, we ordered breakfast, and within minutes, seconds even, of them putting the breakfast on the table, Bailey had slumped into his breakfast and started to fit. When the ambulance came to pick him up, the first thing the ambulance guy said to him was, have you been playing on computer games? And he'd done 12 hours the day before.
Why is he on it now, then? I mean, seriously, straight up. Your son, you've just told me that your son ended up at hospital, and that to me doesn't make sense. I'm sitting there thinking, you've got to be out of your mind to have him back on that computer again right now, then.
Mm-hmm. I'm tired with the stress of having the girls. I haven't got no other help on hand.
Really, what you're saying is that you're struggling with these two?
Yes. Madison doesn't sleep, and I'm just really tired. Really tired.
So you're sleep deprived? You're not getting no sleep during the
I don't get any
nighttime?
sleep, no.
OK. What do you think you're lacking?
Help. On an all-round basis.
So you're basically saying you want something that doesn't exist right now. As a single parent, you're wanting to not be a single parent. Mm. Do you hear what you're saying?
Yeah. I don't feel like I give the kids enough time that I should be doing.
Because you choose to do what instead?
I just try and switch off from it all.
Let's put the kettle on. Huh?
Good
Let's put the
idea.
kettle on. Why do you think I've come here today?
Because sisters don't sleep and I'm addicted to the computer.
Is that why you think I've come here?
And that's what my mum said.
I think you're a little bit bored.
A little bit.
All right, how much? That much? That much? That much? That much? That much? That much? How much?
That much.
When you tell these children to stop doing something that you don't want them to do, what do you put in place to teach them, like, consequences and stuff like that? Like, what time... Do they have a timeout at all?
Not really, no.
So say if I told you that these kids need you to be able to do the best job that you can do in raising them.
I know, turn it off. I know I'm a mum, Joe. I know I am.
No one's saying you're a mum. That's how you're feeling because you know that there is so much more that you can be doing right now. Turn it around for yourself and for them. But I see two paths.
Right.
All right? You either stay on this one.
Yeah.
All right? And feel the way you're feeling right now, which right now is a cosy little blanket. Even though you hate it, it's keeping you warm. Or you turn around and you get busy.
I want my life and their life to change.
What you prepared to do?
Anything.
I met Louise under the assumption that she had this son who was addicted to playing computer games, and how could she as a parent change that? And actually what I met was a mum who was feeling totally overwhelmed with raising 3 children and placing one on a computer so that technology would babysit him while she tried to manage the other 2 young ones. Completely different story.
Now Joe's heard of Bailey's boredom firsthand, and Louise admits she's too stressed to engage with him. Joe decides on a plan of action.
Right, this is the chart we're going to use to wean you off that computer game. 4 weeks to knuckle down and wean ourselves down to 1 hour of computer time a day.
So you can do 4 this week, 3 the next week, 2 the next week and 1 the week after.
Come on, Bailey, you're in control here. Let's go. In order for Bailey to be able to achieve this, something needs to come in play to support cutting down the hours that you're spending on the computer.
Go out.
Exactly. Now, Mum, in this box below, is going to write down the days that she is going to, rain or shine, get out with the whole family.
Great.
OK? So, I told you it was teamwork. Let's place this right in front of the computer.
I was thinking that.
Ah, you see? Look at these great minds thinking alike.
Put it underneath the computer.
I'm a realist. She's going to go through hell and back. It's going to be times when she knows on that chart she needs to be having a family day out, and she's going to be sitting there asking herself, do I really want to get up from the sofa and do this? And she's going to have to push herself if she wants the results.
We're doing dinner.
But there's still one hurdle left. For Louise to have the energy to take the family out, she's going to have to crack bedtime and get Madison and Harley to sleep. Again, Joe has a plan.
You're going to take the children upstairs, and they're going to get into their own beds.
After a bedtime story, Joe wants Louise to stay in the room with her back to the girls, so they'll learn to self-soothe and fall asleep.
Don't sit like that, Mummy. Please give me your bed, Mummy. I don't like Jojo.
How long was that? How long was that?
Hey,
It was...
look what you just did.
I know, but...
Listen, no, but hold on a minute. Please acknowledge the good stuff you're doing. 30 minutes.
It wasn't 30 minutes.
30 minutes. How long does it normally take you?
Forever.
The quickest mum in the world.
30 minutes.
Joe leaves one very happy family, but left to her own devices, can Louise manage on her own?
I'm really tired. I'm just really tired.
Glasgow, Jo instructed Moya to give her spoiled daughters more responsibilities around the house.
She's in there watching the telly.
While 15-year-old Leah is embracing her new chores, 9-year-old Madison is not playing ball.
You just have to stop being cheeky, Madison, and stop answering back, don't you? You're not listening to me. Is that a mood?
No, it isn't a mood.
Is it answering back?
No.
Madison, Jamie's on, clean your teeth.
Don't need your help me, so go away now.
Go away, don't you speak to me like that.
Don't like you.
Don't like me. Teddy, DS, dolls.
You're not taking Teddy off me!
Am I not?
No!
You're hitting me!
You're not taking Teddy off me!
Hit me!
You're not taking Teddy off me!
Don't hit me! No!
No, well, I'm not going to sleep because I can't get to sleep without him!
Why are you being so bad? Madison.
Even angrier now you took Teddy off me!
You're even angrier! Who are you talking to? Get up and clean your teeth.
That's all I'm asking for!
You're not...
Make everything else out of me.
Listen to me. Listen to me and listen to me carefully. I love you with
No,
all...
you don't. No, you do not.
Madison,
No, you
listen
do
to
not.
me. I love you with
No,
all my
you
heart.
don't.
Listen, stay on
No,
the
you
bed.
don't.
Listen, I love you with all my heart, right? I love you that much. I have asked Joe Frost to come in and sort this situation
Well,
out.
you know what? I don't like Joe.
Oh, do you not?
No, I don't.
Oh, why not?
Because she's changed you into a horrible mother.
Why? Because I don't do everything for you anymore.
No, I'm not saying
Because
that.
I don't
I'd
send...
be happy to hoover up just now. I'd be happy to wash up just now. But no, all I'm asking for is my Teddy back and you can't
Hold
give
on a
me
minute.
that.
I took Teddy off you because you shouted in my face.
I'm going to go to bed. Leave me alone.
Go and clean your teeth. I honestly thought, oh, that's brilliant, Joe's come and she's going to be good. And she's
Worse now?
It's been worse. She's worse.
She doesn't like it because she knows that you're not going to give up now. Because you used to lay down rules and then the next minute you just let her walk all over you again, and she knows that you're not going to do it anymore. So she's obviously a bit upset by it.
She gets in my head and makes me start thinking I'm being too strict. That's what a normal family like, that's all I want.
Yeah.
It's the next morning, and the fact that Moya stood strong with Madison seems to have paid off.
I'm going to take the dogs a walk.
I'll come with you.
Can you come with me?
But there's one thing Madison has yet to do.
Sorry.
Do you mean that? Mm-hmm. I'm going to stop being bad. Mm-hmm. It's a new day, okay?
Mm-hmm.
With Moya putting her foot down and establishing a new routine with chores and boundaries, the family knuckles down to Joe's strategy. And the early results are very encouraging.
He's actually been a lot more loving towards me. I do feel more an authoritative figure, like I should be. Right, you first. Joe gave me that kick up the bum that I really needed. Should have been done a long time ago.
Stressed out mum Jo has called in Britain's favourite nanny to help her get her daughter Paige to stop sneaking into her bed.
You serious about this tonight? How are you cracking about this tonight? Then you need to do what you need to do. Okay? I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying here tonight. Okay?
It's time to show Paige that getting in bed with mum simply isn't an option, even if it takes all night.
The first time she comes out of the room, you are going to say to her, "It's bedtime, darling," and you're going to place her back into her bed.
Okay.
The second time she comes out, you're going to say, "It's bedtime," and you're going to place her back into her bed. The third time she comes out, you're going to say nothing.
Okay.
All right? Because you're going to cut off the conversation.
No! No!
It's 9 o'clock and time for Mum's first attempt to put Paige in bed.
No, let go!
And off we go. Okay? Follow me, please.
No, I want to lay on this all night. Good night.
She's playing the sick card. Wait for Mum to go, don't be sick.
1.5 hours after bedtime, and Mum has taken Paige back upstairs 27 times. But the strain is beginning to take its toll.
How are you feeling?
Knackered, stressed. Got a headache.
It's about the wheels now, really, at the end of the day. It's Mum doing what she wouldn't have normally done, and that's to carry on and just push through to the finishing line.
"11 o'clock. Mum's bedtime. So Paige stops trying to join her downstairs and sneaks into Mum's bed.
Oh dear, if only there were easier ways, right? Jo has gone up to sleep now and she's taken Paige up with her and she's going to continue to do the same, but from her room.
Midnight, and despite a 3-hour standoff and 41 attempts, Mum has stayed strong and not let Paige into her bed. Paige settles for the next best place, outside Mum's bedroom door.
So eventually she'll realise that even staying there...
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
That she might as well just stay in her room.
Yeah.
It's the first step at least.
Yeah.
And then from there, you know, into her own bed.
At 1 a.m, 4 hours after beginning bedtime, Mum places a sleeping Paige into her own bed for the first time in 6 years.
Are you pleased with yourself?
Yes.
You're a good mum.
I just didn't think she'd go in her bed.
Are you surprised at what you found within yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, look at you. Oh, you're very capable. You're very capable.
With the longest night behind her, has Mum Jo got over the worst? Or will Paige stage a fight back? Back in Blackpool, it's only been a day since Jo left her plan for weaning Bailey off the computer. But already, Louise is struggling.
You have been on the computer for 2 hours, Bailey. You went on at 11 o'clock. So why are you going moody with me?
Yeah.
Bailey has seemed quite happy yesterday. Yes, I'm going to do this amount of hours. I don't think he's actually realised the concept of how long 4 hours is.
Later that night, Louise attempts Jo's bedtime routine on her own for the first time. She keeps her back to the girls and manages to ignore her daughter's pleas for attention. The next morning, however, all is not well.
I have had the night from hell. Took 20 minutes to get Madison to sleep. She woke at about 10:15. From midnight onwards, it has been every hour. Feel very unmotivated. You don't want to do it. I don't want to take you all out. Don't? Right, I won't. Trust me, I won't.
But Louise pulls herself together and fulfills her side of the bargain to keep Bailey off the computer.
Harley, that's really naughty, that. Oh, no. You do feel better for coming out the house. I really didn't think I would this morning. I must have suddenly found my second wind from somewhere. The kids are really enjoying themselves.
It's been 4 weeks since Jo last saw Louise and Bailey, and she's eager to find out whether the family have managed to follow through with her plan.
Hello. Come on in.
Look at you.
I know. Motivated, Mum.
So what have we been doing?
Getting out and doing more stuff. Everybody's happier. You were right. I thought that Bailey was addicted to a computer. That was his babysitter. And I've realised that now, and I just can't believe the turnaround. We are slowly getting there. They're definitely a lot closer than they used to be, definitely. And it's nice to see.
Presents and pictures exchanged. Jo leaves one very happy household.
That's when you know you need to go, because the family don't need you anymore, and you know you've done your work, and they're on their way, and they really are. I feel good today. It was great.
It's now more than a year since Jo left Bailey and Louise. She's invited them along to her roadshow to catch up.
How you doing? Good to see you.
Have they managed to build on the progress they made, or have things slipped back?
What's going on these days?
Doing more activities outdoor.
When I left you, you were certainly in a different place.
This is my family, Jo, and they're the most important thing to me. And I was in a horrible place, and they were in that place that was way behind me. Now the secret is being a happy mum, you've got happy kids. We go swimming every week, going to the park, even if it's just playing outside the house. We're out there doing stuff. I haven't got cabin fever anymore.
Just basically doing more stuff with the kids.
Yeah, being with the kids rather than being stuck in the background and letting the kids get on with their own thing. Ready? Whee! Oh. We went to Butlins on holiday, and we've been everywhere, out to the park.
Look at this, look. I'm going to take a quick look through your photos. That's you, is that you there?
Some good ones are Bailey, buried in the sand up to
Bailey,
his neck.
where are you? Hold on.
There he is.
Another time I'm seeing you now, you're not eating in front of the computer. So what happened with that? You just got table up and...
I couldn't think that it was me actually giving Bailey his meals at the computer. Yeah. So now I'll just, if he's playing out or where I get him in and we all sit together at the table.
It's really nice to see that.
Nice bit of family time.
Yeah, just because, I mean, you've got family time doing the activities, but it was really nice you coming together for meal times and having those conversations. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seemed like you'd moved on again, you know? Yeah. Bailey, you must have been roughly about 80 hours on that computer, like ridiculously. What did you get down to?
3 hours, like, every 2 days.
I don't see him anymore. He's out and about, he's with his mates, or we're together, or he's just out.
Bailey, when we did the weaning, OK, off the computer, you got really heavily involved in that, all right? I want to know what a difference it made at school. Did your work improve, or...?
It improved.
Bailey has just got an A and an A star in his French. He's his certificate of excellence.
Blimey, it's going to be Paris next week for the whole family. Give me a little something. Say, hi, Jo, it's really good to see you today. Give me something. Bonjour. I always use you as a classic example, OK, in the nicest of ways, for every family that feel down in themselves. Do you remember you and I in the garden and you said to me, I know you think I'm a beep mum. Yeah. Do you remember that? And I was like, no, but you know what? We have got to get on with some work and do that.
Yeah. It was, I'd just got to stop feeling sorry for myself. That's all it was. You know, if your kids see this dowdy, down mum, that's what your kids are going to be.
Then they get that. Yeah, they get that way as well.
They're the same. They see a happy mum, you know, they're like, why are you smiling, mum? You know, it puts a whole different prospect on everything. Yeah. It's great. Life's good.
So good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Having you come in here.
Thank you again.
You're welcome, love. You're welcome. You're welcome. Really, really good to see them. They all look really, really well. Like she says, if she can do it, anyone can do it. Meaning that if you're in a place that you don't believe that you can make those changes, it's all a load of rubbish. Of course you can. You just got to have the will and the commitment and understand the importance of why you're doing it. So it's always a pleasure for me. You know, I always get really excited when I have the chance to, you know, see the families that I've worked with and just see how they've moved on. It's great.
In Woolwich, Mum Jo is battling her daughter Paige's insistence on sleeping in her bed. She's managed to get her out of the room and into the corridor. But tonight she's working the late shift, so Grandma Pauline is babysitting.
I'm feeling quite nervous for her, to be honest, because if she's anything like she's been the last 3 nights, my mum's going to struggle.
Pauline has a weekend holiday home nearby where Paige and her sister Poppy regularly stay. Paige is used to sharing a bed with her soft-touch gran, so the pressure's on for Pauline to keep up Mum's hard work.
Say good night and you're going to be good girls. Paige, you promised me. I'm going to be sitting here, aren't I? I'm going to be sitting here.
I'm going to come back out here.
I'll sit out here. I can do me clearing up and read me paper, look. I mustn't talk no more, must I? All right? No night.
No, you're right.
No, I'm sitting at the table. Oh, I'm saying too much, I know.
I like it now.
Come on. I don't like seeing her upset. But I know she's got to sleep in that bed. Come on. But have a nice day tomorrow. Get the paddling pool out. Do you reckon we've done it? She can hear me talking and normally she'd be shouting out. But perhaps she has suddenly gone off.
1 hour later, and things are looking good for Pauline.
I want to go and have another look. I'll see it, she's all done.
I'm not asleep. I'm not asleep. I'm not.
You are silly. Oh my God, how stupid was that? Oh dear. What an idiot.
After just 15 minutes, everyone's asleep in their own bed. Now Mum will have Gran's standards to live up to. It's more important than ever for Mum to stay strong. So tonight, with bedtime fast approaching, Mum delivers an ultimatum.
Listen, Paige, we're going to read a story and then you're going to sleep in your own bed all night tonight, Paige. And if you don't sleep all night in your own bed tonight, then you're not allowed to play out at all tomorrow, okay? Do you understand that? Do you, Paige?
Don't want.
Okay, well, we're going to go up to bed now. Come on then. Good night. See you in the morning. Go to sleep, Paige. Good night.
It looks like Mum's ultimatum may have worked.
It does feel too good to be true that Paige is in bed this time. I hope that she has taken on board what I said to her just before she went to sleep. I couldn't remember a time I've ever done this. I've ever sat and in a living room on my own while the girls were asleep. There has never been a time.
But it is too good to be true. Paige ends up back in the hallway.
Where was you when I got up this morning?
Outside your bedroom.
Why didn't you sleep in your room, Paige?
Because it was stupid.
Can Mum stay strong and follow through with discipline?
She didn't go to bed last night, so she's not allowed to play out. But Poppy can play out.
Okay.
Poppy? Yeah. You go and play out with Destiny?
Yeah.
Go on then. I'm quite surprised how well she took that, actually. This is a new thing for me, and I've stuck to my guns, so I'm just going to continue with that. What have you been doing?
1 week later, has Mum's nightly perseverance paid off?
Hello?
Hello.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm very good. How are you?
Very good. She's been sleeping in her own bed all night.
Yay! That's what I'm talking about.
I can't believe it.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
I think my services are done here, right?
Thank you, Joe. Thanks very much.
Take care, Joe.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I think Jo is proud of me, yeah. I think when she first met me, she thought I was quite a weak person, and to be honest, I was feeling quite weak anyway. So I think, yeah, I've surprised myself, and I hope I've surprised Jo.
Go away. Bye, we're going to bed now. We're tired. Goodbye, this is our bedroom.
It's well over a year since Paige gave up her nightly battles to get into Mum's bed. The pair of them have now come to Joe's roadshow. She's desperate to hear how they've been getting on.
I'm sitting over here. You're like a big girl now, huh?
Changed person, changed child.
Do you remember you sleeping out on the floor? Because you didn't want to be in your bedroom, did you? Hey? Tell me what you're doing in your bedroom now. I heard that there was a bet with regards to you having a sleepover. Tell me about it.
Poppy bet me that £2 that I couldn't stay at my friend's house, but I did stay at my friend's house.
She bet you £2? Did you get the £2? You did? So you're having sleepovers now? Yeah. And what about you?
I'm studying now. I left leisure, started a nursing degree in September. So I'm out on placement at the moment for 12 weeks.
It's brilliant. So your nights are just to yourself, you're able to do what you want, and you decided you were going to take up a course.
That's right.
It is brilliant, and I'll tell you why, because when I first met you, you didn't feel that you were able to do it, and there was a breaking point for you where you knew you had to stick with it.
Yeah.
And when you did that, and now look at you.
I know,
it's like, that's it. You're off, you want to do your studying now, you're going to have a career.
Yeah.
And what you're doing with your nursing.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased, to be honest with you. I am, to say the least. Can I ask you a question? Because now you're a big girl. If there was any little girls that said, I don't know how to sleep in my bed, what would you say to them?
Just close your eyes and fall asleep.
You close your eyes and you fall asleep. You must be well proud.
I am.
It's so good to see you. I'm really glad that you popped by. Thank you.
When Joe first met Madison Wren in Glasgow, she was a spoilt little diva, making all sorts of demands on her mother, Moya.
It's my money.
And she didn't appreciate Joe's intervention.
I don't like the dog.
Oh, do you not?
No, I don't.
Oh, why not?
Because she's changed you into a horrible mother.
In the end, Moya brought Madison into line.
Sorry.
But since Joe's visit, has this little princess given up her crown for good, or is she back ruling the household?
About 12 months since Joe was up, and Madison has changed dramatically. You know, she's helping a lot more around the house and doing as she's told, and, you know, offering to do things without even having to be asked.
Do more chores now because I appreciate my mum a lot more, and I realise that, like, you can't just leave everything to her. And I hoover up mine and my mum's room and the hallway and the stairs, and I take the dogs out, and I do a lot more than I used to, yeah.
Love you. I think what's caused the change is me waking up really more than Madison. You know, if I'd have just stayed stagnant and stayed the way I was, then nothing would have changed. I knew what I had to do, but it was Joe that really said, look, you know, open your eyes, this has got to stop, look what's happening. And I knew what would happen. It would just get worse and worse. Madison's more a high street girl now, definitely. It's changed completely. I have spent nothing on pageants in the last 12 months. I've not been out of pocket at all. Instead of a new pageant dress, you can have a chessboard.
Okay, I was not ready in that picture. I was making a funny face. The odd time I'll get a couple of just couture things or something like that, just the odd time, but usually it's just like high street shops. New look, H&M, and I think my socks are from Tesco. I don't quite know. Come on, baby. Hold you, Mrs. Grumpy.
From being dressed in the latest designer clothes and being groomed for pageants, Madison is now in wellies, mucking out stables and grooming horses instead.
So Brambles is on loan to Madison. So in exchange for like mucking her out and helping out in the stables and helping out with the other horses, Madison gets to ride Brambles whenever she wants.
Yeah, I do think that I've got a horse now because my mum realises that I'm more matured and I can take care of things, and like I would rather be up at my horse than anything else. Oh, my big king. I'd rather be covered in manure than makeup, to be quite honest.
And that's a huge change for this former pageant princess.
Bye-bye.